All good? Yep.
Good to go.
Good to go.
Good to go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Murrumbidgee Council's monthly council meeting, 22nd of July 2025. We pay respect to the traditional custodians of the lands and waters of Murrumbidgee local government area and to all Aboriginal elders past, present and emerging. We are committed to honouring the continuing connection that the first Australians hold to Murrumbidgee's land, waters and community as one of the oldest living cultures in human history. In the spirit of open, accessible and transparent government and to ensure this meeting is open to the public, this council meeting is being recorded. This recording will be placed on council's website following the meeting. I acknowledge that all councillors are present and accounted for, 3 of whom are watching on Teams. So there's no any apologies. No, we don't acknowledge Caitlin.
No.
No, okay.
Almost.
Okay, we'll move on to the minutes of the ordinary council meeting of the 17th of June 2025 and the extraordinary council meeting of the 30th of June 2025. Would somebody like to move that they are a true and accurate record? Move Councillor Saxon, seconded Councillor Churgwin. I put that to the council. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. I remind all the councillors of their pecuniary interest declaration. So are there any declarations to be handed forward before we start? No? Okay, I'll move to the mayoral report. And I'll just read it for the record. Winter continues with cold, foggy conditions challenging us all. The promising forecast of substantial rains has so far failed to deliver, but we have our fingers crossed today. It's looking very promising. With all of our winter cropping now in place, timely rain will benefit us all. School holidays, the annual migration north and the movement of cotton and other produce, coupled with lots of activity around the Transgrid project, has seen our major traffic routes incredibly busy. Mixed with challenging weather conditions and some poor driver behaviour, it makes our roads everybody's responsibility to be mindful of all our road users. Of important note is the handover of the VPA Origin cheque for $5 million. This cheque is a result of a negotiated VPA amount attributable to the Yanco Delta wind farm. Council recognises with thanks this substantial financial contribution. The money will be used to build a new and very welcome fit-for-purpose medical centre for the Jerilderie community. This renewable energy project is still working through its due process. There are still traffic management plans, workers' accommodation sites and delivery of infrastructure routes to be determined. A significant NAIDOC Week event was held in Jerilderie on the 8th of July. A collaborative event between the Jerilderie MPS and the Jerilderie GP Aboriginal Group, incorporating the Auntie Jeans and a Happy Health program, saw multi-generational activities and a meal shared. This is the beginning of a shared initiative with more gatherings proposed in the near future. The General Manager and I attended the National General Assembly in Canberra from the 23rd to the 27th of June 2025. Issues that have a national focus and have a very direct impact on how local government is delivered are broad, with significant day-to-day impact, local government's financial sustainability, the inquiry and whether any of the event found issues will actually be able to be addressed. The frightening escalation in the costs of goods, the block in deliverability of goods, the cost shifting from state to local governments, the inability to increase our rate revenue and rate hedging, and the long list goes on and on. White and Lightning addresses on AI and the changes already taking place and how that will change the face of service delivery right here and now and into the future. The clear message of embracing these changes and being on the front foot is imperative. The pressures of the renewable energy tsunami and the huge impost on local government is considered but not recognised with genuine intent by the federal government. Our ability to attend to our core business and take on board all of the community interface with little ability to influence is a constant challenge. With a bloody-minded governmental mindset hell-bent on achieving the unachievable net zero target timeline, there will be significant collateral damage. Council is at the table often and our messaging is clear, rarely taken on board, but to you, our community members, you need to be reassured that first and foremost, we are advocating for you. It is challenging trying to halt what seems like a runaway train. We also attended a breakfast session on the housing crisis. The government's proposed a breakout session, sorry, not a breakfast session. The government's proposed initiatives in its tripartite approach. Unfortunately, as I write this report, the federal government is now stating that one of its election platforms of delivering 1.25 million houses is simply not achievable. There is lots of action in the disaster resilience and recovery space, an emphasis on preparedness rather than recovery. What is of ongoing concern is the number of stakeholders in this space and the jockeying for prominence and importance and fractured funding. A truly national approach and response mindset needs to be prioritised. On the 8th of July, I had the pleasure of conferring Australian citizenship on Neil and Doherty. It's a privilege to be able to conduct this ceremony and is made even more special when I actually know our newest Australian. Neil's immersion into the Australian way of life has been all-encompassing and her contribution to her chosen community is evident. We wish her many happy years living amongst us in Coleambally in the Murrumbidgee LGA. The General Manager and I met with the member for Albury, Justin Clancy, on the 8th of July. We covered areas of planning, biodiversity, health and water. We then toured the Onslow Rice Mill, which is impressive, forward-thinking and delivering locally and regionally. On the 16th of July, I attended the 110-year celebration of the Jerilderie Red Cross. What an invaluable, incredible organisation that has stood the test of time. My congratulations to them. And on the 23rd of July, which is tomorrow, I will be attending the parliamentary inquiry into the impacts of the Water Amendment Act of 2023 on New South regional communities with the water banks front and centre in Griffith. Are there any questions, please?
Let's see. Online.
I'm sorry, we can't see you, but is there any questions, Troy, Rob, or Faith? No? No?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Faith's on, Ruth. I can't see her. Can you?
Working behind the scenes together.
Yeah, Julie's trying to make that happen.
Okay.
Okay, I'd so like to move that the mayoral report be noted, please. Move Councillor Kirby, seconded Councillor Strawn. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item number 2, please, the General Manager's report.
Thank you, Councillor McRae. Just a couple of, just to bring forward the progress of the sale of rear for rates properties. We identified 23. We started off with 23 and a balance of about $384,000. We're down to about 15 properties now with a value of about $243,000. One of the 15 activities paid down the account, however, there hasn't been an agreement with them. It seems there'll be about 13 or 14 go to auction, but in saying that, just very recently been made aware of a 608 certificate come through for one of the properties from a solicitor, which generally means that transfer will happen within 2 weeks. So there's still a fair bit of activity going on there of the justling and the buying and selling of those properties for arrears of rates. But at the end of the day, Elders, Matt Horn is ready to go for the auction. We've got Kelmore doing up the contracts now for properties that we know will be going to auction virtually, or have a strong suspicion they'll go to auction simply because we've had no correspondence from anybody in relation to them. Normally we have correspondence from those that are looking to have an agreement or pay out by this time. The housing, council housing replacements progressed the sale of 2 properties in Jerilderie. 2 properties in Darlington Point have also sold. The one property has been built and is being occupied in Jerilderie. That leaves 9 Gugumbla is with the building team now, just to get it ready for sale. Then we'll come back and get authorisation to sell that, hopefully in the August meeting. So that puts us in the position where we can start replacing those buildings. We've got to be pretty close to getting title for the subdivision. But even then, it's our land. We can build on those 2 lots we've identified. They're ours. So progressing through, if we get this authority, I'm just waiting on 2 soil reports to come back and preempting that all of the paperwork's been done, ready to go to tender straight away to build. The recommendation is virtually 2 4-bedroom homes in Darlington Point on lots 13 and 14. Reason being for 13 and 14, council can remember that we set aside 1 and 14. Since then, because of bureaucracy, we hadn't been able to put both a pump station and a transformer on lot 14. We had to put it on lot 13. Probably closer than it would have been if it was on lot 13. A lot also both on the one lot. So taking those 2 out as being the most difficult to sell, we'll put council homes on those with those bits of infrastructure in their front yard at this stage. Then 1 4-bedroom home that is directly behind the home that we built at 12 Argoon, this is before Argoon Street, and the 6-bedroom duplex, or 2 dwellings of 3 bedrooms each in a duplex style, which would go at lot 74, which is directly beside the Jerilderie Independent Living units in Jerilderie in the Wannermarr estate. The sale of those 5 homes at the end, I'm estimating that they will be very close to the price that we will then pay out the builders. So the real only cost to council is the land in getting this done. Maybe $100,000 more. We'll have to wait to see with the tenders coming in at the end of the day. The River Red Gum Estates entrance slabs, Director of Planning and Infrastructure has got that in hand at this point in time. The electricity will be connected late August. They spoke about the titles already. I think my last conversation with Heidi, we've done everything that we need to do. I don't know what we're waiting on at this stage, but it's just one of those things. But it doesn't stop us. Real estate agent, who is Ray White out of Josh Stapleton and Joe out of Griffith. They will have a marketing contract fairly soon, which means that they'll be able to start marketing and giving out prices on land and virtually pre-selling them, hopefully within the next week or so, and get them going rather than waiting for the titles to come forth. We've given our final information back to the designer of the Darlington Point Long Day Care and Preschool last week. So they are bringing back the final design in line with having the car park on Boyd Street. So that means the entrance will most likely be closer to the front in that corner there, and the playground. We'll see when the design comes back. The feedback we got from numerous people, most of them in the childcare industry, and they've all said that it's all doable with what they've doing. In breakout of the rooms, in other words, we had 3 rooms in the toddler room, but feedback from one of the directors, from our director, saying that a room of 40 is too big, so we've broken them down, and we've got another room in there, and the baby's room will be done in a way that hopefully that we don't have more than 4 babies to scream at each other. So we'll see when those designs come back. So that's area there. Sale yards, at this point in time, I am in discussion with one company who has expressed interest in taking it on as a sheep sale yards. And I was hoping that I would have had the verbal update for you today, but I do not. They're still working through. They had one more set of partners, another partner to talk to who was away at this stage. before they come back with their final decision on whether they do that. I've had others come to speak about the potential of the land, what they could do with lots of different things there if it went up. We're working through that as well. Attached is the motor vehicle policy, which has gone, which needs to go out on public display. So that's just an amendment, it's just a request there to put that on public display. And I wish to take some annual leave within those dates from the 3rd of October and to the 12th and the 18th to the 26th. Inclusive. And my movements for the next little while. Is there any questions of my report? Councillor?
I think that's fairly self-explanatory, John. There's some things that we are waiting on determination for. It will be good to see the marketing contracts come to fruition so that we can take the Young Street subdivisions to the market. That's, you know, that'll be a red letter day. So I think we as a council would like to celebrate that the minute that happens and the minute we are able to take it to the market. So we'll bear that in mind. Gary, can you please let us know the design of the slabs that you're working on for the entrance to the River Red Gum Estate?
Yep, Madam Mayor, once we've at the moment we're preparing to scale plans for the CNC machine because they'll be rounded out.
Yep.
Once I get that done, I'll get us on board council.
Okay. All right. Are there any other comments or so John, you said that there've been some interesting conversations around the sale yards issue in Jerilderie. Are they alternative uses rather than as a sale yard?
Correct.
Right, okay. So do we have a timeline on the verbal conversations regarding continuation as a sale yards?
No, there's not a timeline, but I was only in conversation with them as I wrote this report.
Yeah.
So that's about a week. I'll get a hold of them again this week sometime to see if they're going to progress or not.
Okay.
Have something back by then.
Okay, given
I'm assuming that the October and November sale yards will facilitate
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Right, continue on as it is.
is there much maintenance work that has to be done before those sales occur?
No, I think we can hold the sales as it is if I'm hearing the agent correctly.
Okay. And given the movement in the general manager field in our region here, we will approve your leave as long as you put in writing you're coming back. Because we've got 3 GMs out of our 11 GMs at Ramjo that are moving on as from the end of July, middle of August. So that will be a huge change. So we just need to ensure that we don't have to recruit for a new GM as part of what else is going on in council. So,
Oh, you're stuck with me. Sorry about that.
well, that's okay. That's all I needed to hear. Any other questions?
Just some feedback from people looking at the blocks subdivision. They find it difficult to identify the numbers with the block.
Yep.
So that's probably some feedback to somehow get some numbers on there so people can start visualising where they want to buy into subdivision.
Yep.
Apart from that, everybody's excited.
Yep.
Thank you.
So yes, as part of the marketing, Josh is doing up can't remember what it is, but it's a mock-up of the thing with all of the lots on it, the prices on it, the square meterage on it, and everything else like that. So they get a handout virtually of what it is and where it is, all that stuff should come about.
Are we going to have a grand opening?
We are having a grand opening.
Yeah.
We will. I've tasked the grand opening to Ray White, Julie, and Eden primarily to do it. So that will be happening. We just got to find out a date and time. We sort of love they're looking to come down and be on site at least once a fortnight for people to show them through and everything else like that. So we're gonna make that the event, they come down and they can do their sales as well and walk them through, and we make sure that we've got the slabs up and we've got numbers on the each of the blocks. But, we'll wait for all of the spoil to be leveled out and everything else like that, and we'll throw up some salt. That's some numbers.
Yes, councillor Churban.
In Collie a few years back, somebody came round and, I think it was for $20 or something, they painted our street number on the curb.
Yeah.
I just wondered whether that would be useful in identifying the blocks. If you just painted the number on the curb and guttering, yep.
Hi,
You could get a council person to do that.
hey, you can speak. Go
Yeah, for the benefit of councillors, as part of getting the signage together, we're also going to put a little plate on the
Yep.
curb in front of each one with the street number. So whether or not the agents want to identify them by lot numbers, you know, sign with a lot number, but there will be the street number so that they can go, you know, this is 28 Helena Parade, this is 30 Helena Parade, or whatever. And also obviously we'll have street signs.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So Ray, will the plate, will it be easily visible?
To the young, no, it's right.
I had in mind that there would be probably like a reflective white on blue or something like that, about that size.
Yeah.
So that again, in the dark, you know, taxis or whatever, they'll easily be able to see.
So the light poles are black in the estate, the light poles.
Like, well,
Yes.
Yes, we'll put white on black. Don't
Okay.
bring another colour in, please.
Your wish
Yeah,
is
I
my
look like
absolute
a-
command.
Don't leave.
But I would hope that the street sign boards will be ready to go up
Yeah.
within the next couple of weeks, and part of that contract will also be the supply of the
Yeah.
plates. With the numbers, so. And we will be, just while I'm on it, because Helena Parade is a loop, at one end, we'll have a sign saying Helena Parade, you know, 1 to 55, at the other end, we'll have a sign saying Helena Parade 55 to 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that, you know, until people
Right.
become familiar with it, they'll
Yeah.
know where they're going when they get on to Helena.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Are there any other questions? If not, would somebody like to move, please, the recommendation? Move councillor Churban, seconded councillor Kirby. And the recommendation will read, one, council authorise the general manager to procure 2 by 4 bedroom homes to be located on lots 13 and 14 of the River Red Gum Estate, Darlington Point, and procure 1 by 4 bedroom home, block 44, and 1 by 6 bedroom duplex, block 74, within the Wannamurra Estate, Jerilby. 2, the revised motor vehicle policy, revision 3B, 1, endorsed by council and placed on public exhibition for a period of 28 days. 2, resubmitted to council at a further future date for evaluation of community feedback and final determination on this policy. And 3, council's general manager, John Scarce, be granted annual leave from the 3rd to the 12th of October 2025 and the 18th to the 26th of October 2025. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item 3, please.
Thank you, councillor McRae. This is just, for council endorsement of the Darlington Point Town Life Spring Festival on Saturday, the 13th of September, 2025. And the council cover the cost of the traffic management plan and the traffic control plan for this 355 committee. Any questions?
were there going to be any grants?
No grants,
No grants?
no grants.
And any further questions? If not, would somebody like to move councillor Curfew, seconded councillor Saxby? The recommendation will read, council endorse the Darlington Point Town Life Spring Festival on Saturday, the 13th of September, 2025, and cover the cost of the traffic management plan and the traffic control plan for the event. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item 4, please.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Item 4 relates to the draft Murray Council Road Management Service Procedure, which was presented to council at the May council meeting. at which council resolved to place it on public exhibition. It's been on exhibition from 4th of June to 4th of July, during which there were no submissions received at all. Council will recall draft road levels of service procedure sets out protocol under which council is able to address both maintenance issues as well as public issues by setting a number of standards which we use to determine and how we determine it by the AI RACUS camera system about how we address our maintenance and regrading schedules for our community. It gives the community a level of certainty as well as the ability for council to better manage our roads. And it's presented today for final adoption.
Are there any questions of Gary, please? If not, would somebody like to move, please? Move Councillor Black, seconded Councillor Major, and the recommendation will read: Council adopt the draft Murrumbidgee Council Road Management and Levels of Service Procedure. Put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item 5, please.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President. Item 5 relates to the adoption of asset management plans for transport, sewer, water and stormwater assets. The draft plans were presented to council for information at a previous council meeting, at which they've been again presented today for adoption. Council also asked at that meeting when they were first discussed to provide information in relation to what items are being funded, which are attached in the information section to the council reports, which outlines where we'll be spending money on each of those asset classes for the next few years. I apologise for the detail on the roads. It's quite fine. If council would like another copy, I can send arrange for another for the roads. It's quite fine. Well, there's a lot of obviously doing a lot of work. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've just been informed you do have A3 copies of them as well.
Yeah, it's still difficult to read.
Okay. So we can do that.
Yeah, I've got a recommendation here where they're coloured. Here, blue, green, and whatever. Don't do that because trying to read that print on there is impossible. So it's better if it's just black and white, and perhaps just put a bar at the side, not on top of the information, if you want to draw out anything.
We'll represent the
Yeah.
branding.
Okay.
So the purpose of today is for council to consider those and adopt them.
Okay. Are there any questions of Gary regarding this? There's a lot of information there, Gary. So thank you on council's behalf for the work that the operational staff have done to get that information to us. Are there any questions? Councillor Major.
Yeah, Gary, could you talk us through some potential? So we've got in the sustainability, there's obviously a shortfall of funding over the next 10 years. I guess, what are we going to do about it?
Bring that about. This actually relates to the long-term financial plan as well. So based on the asset management suggested by Tonkin, who we've been working with under their Conquest system. So they've identified those asset classes and the value, suggested values of them. Council level, that would need to be the discussion for councillors to get probably closer to the date of those assets are due to be renewed or replaced. But it's tied to the long-term financial plan, so it's a matter for council to consider how those asset classes are either first place going to be funded or somehow put back.
I think just as a comment, Councillor Major, the shortfalls in money to renew and replace every asset that council owns is not adequate at all. And this is where the financial sustainability crunch comes for councils, whether they be big or small. So continued advocacy in this space is probably our way of addressing it. I know councils worked really hard in the last, particularly since merger, to ensure that any opportunistic money that came across the table has gone to critical or essential infrastructure. The cold hard reality is we will never have enough money for roads. We will work really hard to address the water and sewer issues, but I think the RACUS informed and the work that Tonkin has done will allow us at least to put in place a maintenance program that will hopefully ensure that we are doing the very best we can do with the limited finances we have available.
A comment that I'd like to make in relation to it as well is that these are the best engineering estimates moving forward. And as Gary points out, until that date turns up, we won't know specifically if that asset has got another 10 years of life before we need to touch it, or we need to touch it straight away. So with the systems that we've got in place, with the maintenance schedules that we've got in place, we'll be able to, within a year before the budget or before the budget, be able to do an assessment on whether that asset can be pushed out for another year or two, because these are only the estimates. As I've spoken about many times, what accounting and the engineering professions followed the accountants. Don't know why, because the accountants aren't the best at this. They choose a method of depreciation that doesn't really replicate what the true life of the asset is being deteriorated. Only that can be done year on, year out, as the serviceability happens every single year. So some of these numbers, whilst they might seem horrific, and I always go back to the adage that we depreciate a building for 100 years. The Murrumbidgee Shire Hall down there just for 50 years turned 100 the other year, so and it's still standing. So that's the point of all of these things, that a set of depreciation rates were set up for income tax in the accounting world so they could get their money back on their investments. They weren't ever set up to have anything to do with public service assets, particularly roads, water, sewage, or anything else like that. So they're, in my mind, still a little bit rubbery from where I think they should be.
Councillor Major?
So just for clarification, so the reports were done, so it says in here they were done to ensure infrastructure service levels that we've agreed, which was the previous paper that we talked about. So was it done by that system or by depreciation?
That was certainly taken into account in the levels of service. It certainly was taken into account. But when you're starting off with however many hundreds of $1 million behind the 8 ball from what they say was El Smico, that's what you have to catch up with, right?
Okay, any further questions? Okay, well, do we have a mover and seconder, George? Now, would somebody like to move, please? Move Councillor Strawn, seconded Councillor Curfew. And the recommendation will read: the council adopt the following asset management plans of A, transport, financial year 2025 to 26 to 2034-35. Stormwater, B, stormwater, financial year 2025-26 to 2034-35. Water, C, financial year 2025-26 to 2034-35. And D, sewer, financial year 2025-26 to 2034-35. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Item 6, please, Gary.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, item 6 relates to a report concerning the Department of Climate Change, Energy, Environment, Water voluntary house purchase scheme, which was discussed by council earlier this year at its February council meeting, at which council decided that an application should be put in to access funding to repurchase dwellings identified in the Darlington Point flood study for possible purchase and removal. The applications didn't open until a couple of months later. We've now applied and submitted an application to be part of a funding pool. It's not a grant as such. It's getting approval to access funding if we require it. Now, as I reported back in February, this is a voluntary scheme. At this point in time, we have no properties or property owners coming forward to participate in this. So the money and the application, if we are successful, sit there for 3 years. Council does not have to participate in it. But should we get an application in that 3 years, we move forward. And as I explained again in February, it depends on whether the evaluation that the council and the owner obtain and negotiations between council and the owner to agree to a final purchase price. So it has to be voluntary on both council and the owner of the property. So it's for council's information and noting that we've actually applied as required.
Thank you, Gary. Are there any questions of Gary?
No, I just think it's a very prudent thing to do, and it's there for the next 3 years if we require it. So thank you, Gary, for doing that.
Thank you, councillor Murphy. Would somebody like to move, please? Move councillor Murphy, second councillor Churwin. And the recommendation will read, the council note the information contained in this report. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you. Reports and minutes of council committees, please. Item 7.
In lieu, I won't speak like Caitlin, but I'll just speak normally. There's the minutes of the meeting from the latest ARIC. For everybody who would have read it and fully absorbed it and understood. And any questions?
Are there any particular points you need to make council aware of, John?
I have not been advised of any particular points to bring forward in the discussion.
If I'm encouraging council to, if you've read it once, just have another read of it. It's actually quite informative, and it gives us a good state of the nation or state of the council position at the moment. So they're comprehensive minutes. So it behoves us all to read them more than once to take them on board. Any further questions? If not, would somebody like? Sorry, Troy.
Yeah. Just one thing worth pointing out, we had a bit of a discussion on the day is about the community satisfaction survey. So I think as a council, we probably need to have a discussion whether we want to implement that suggestion. So that's something I thought worth raising.
Do you need to comment, John, or will you just take that on board?
If we're going to put a survey out, then I will seek the approval of council to do that.
Yep.
Beforehand. We'll speak with the council on questions and everything else like that before it goes forth. I think that's the only prudent way to go.
Yep.
In relation to that, so I'm happy for Caitlin to bring a consolidated paper forward at the next meeting to have a discussion on that.
Are you happy with that answer, Councillor Major?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
You are good. Thank you. Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder that this Audit Risk and Improvement Committee report be noted. I'll put that to the council. Those in favour, please say aye. Those
Aye.
against? Carried. Thank you. Item 8, please.
Item 8 is the monthly investment reports. Any highlights there that you wish me to make up that I actually know what it is?
No, is any comment from the councillors from the floor, please, made up or otherwise? Or are we satisfied that all the information we have is contained in the report and we're happy to move it and second it? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Would somebody like to move, please? Move councillor Chudman, seconded councillor Major. And the recommendation will read that council note the monthly investment reports identifying all money council has invested under section 625 of the Local Government Act 1993. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Troy, are you seconding it or have you got a question?
Yeah, I was just going aye. Yeah, agreeing.
Oh, you're, oh, great. Okay, you're ahead of the game. I declare that carried. Okay. Right, would somebody like to move? Oh, item 9.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Right in front of me. Item 9, please, Gary.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item 9 is the list of bill applications that have been approved under delegation in June.
Okay. Everybody's read this, I assume. Are there any questions of Gary? Did you say? Did
No,
you-
it's made up.
Oh, that's encouraging. Somebody's on channel. That's good. Any commentary around these DAs approved under delegation? Any questions? No. Somebody like to move, please. Move councillor Sedgwick, seconded councillor Major. And the recommendation will read that the information contained in the development applications approved under delegation for June 2025 report be noted. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried, please. Thank you. Would somebody like to move that we move into confidential, please? Move councillor Saxon, seconded councillor Pete. You've been quiet. Okay. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Yep. Recording.
We're recording? Okay. We'll move to item 10, please. And the recommendation will read, moved on the recommendation of councillors Turfy and Strawn. The recommendation will read that A, the general manager guided by the independent valuation and subject to any guidelines provided by council, be authorised to negotiate the purchase of the land in Jerilderie, which is the subject of this report. And B, should the purchase of the land be successful, the land be classified as operational. I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Thank you, everybody.
Does everybody want to say anything again? No.
You over and out. I'm just